My favorite. I mean, just the new cut, the new outlay, the grill, the rear end, the racetrack around the back end of them. Obviously, the 360's got power galore now, so I love that part of it.
What'd you think about the interior?
Interior's totally redesigned, the soft touch feel, especially on that Charger with that bigger screen in there. That's just right integrated.
Is that 8.5 inch?
Dashboard. 8.5 inch. Yeah, that thing is beautiful.
Touchscreen does everything right through the touchscreen. Heated seats, temperature controls, nice TV screen.
Navigation
all of it's
system.
voice activated. Yeah,
All voice
That was
activated.
cool.
No hard drive, SD cards, flash drives to run. Pretty cool.
That was nice.
I think probably the most important thing about what's coming out with the 2011s is the outside styling always has to be important, otherwise people would not consider the vehicle. But for probably every minute, once you get a vehicle that you look at the outside, you're probably spending 4 or 5 hours looking at the inside because you're driving the vehicle. Aesthetically, the new vehicles are much more pleasing. They eliminated all the hard plastic, not only look, but feel. And I think it's the type of vehicle that people are gonna enjoy being in for years to come.
And
Okay.
that's where you go back to where they listen to every customer, what the customers wanted in their cars, listened, did it, and totally redesigned the whole brand from the Avenger, which looks almost identical.
Let's talk about the
to
Avenger.
design, so-
What did you guys think about the Avenger?
Loved it. Light handle, drove, lower center of gravity, all new suspension, this thing hooked up.
You know,
in my opinion, the Avenger was the most improved vehicle that they had.
You looked,
By
it was the
far.
closest to the same look, but man, it's.
You know, it was
night
my
and
first
day difference.
ride and drive event, and I was really impressed about how it stacked up against the competition. You know, some of the vehicles that we drove, wow, when I got in the Avenger, I was like, damn, this thing is really nice. You know, and then we got to some of the competitors, really couldn't believe they were in the market. So I thought the interior, the new V6 Pentastar engine, wow, that had some serious horsepower to it. I thought
And
it
the
was
RT,
great.
especially that RT Avenger.
That was
They
nice.
drove good, but they all drove good. The Durango, nice drive, nice ride. In its segment, there's nobody in its class. That's
Okay, there's a
sharp,
couple different
sharp.
models that we looked at for the Durango. What'd you guys think about, let's start with the base model,
The Crew?
the Crew. What'd you think?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice job.
Nice interior.
Hardly looks like a base model, that's for sure.
That's for sure, and that's where they really improved. No base models at all for Dodge, which was really nice. The Citadel, which we looked at, yeah, the brown leather interior, it was beautiful.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Nice rigs.
the new leather was nice, you know, the new interiors are great on the vehicles, but I myself jumped into the third row of the vehicle,
Yeah.
and I had plenty of room. I pulled that seat all the way back, and I still had plenty of room for even myself, and I'm 6'1".
Which was a
And room to
big,
get through there too.
Yeah.
You finished underneath the seats when you roll it up off.
which was a big
finished
complaint for
just-
customers before, it was the third row and not having enough room. Now, they have changed that, and you get a lot more room in the Durango with the third row.
Actually, me and Scott were in the back seat, in the third row, we both sat down and pulled the seats back, and we were both comfortable. I mean, it would have been riding to Detroit in that.
And you're a big guy, John. How tall are you?
About 6'2".
6'2", and you had plenty of room. I mean, that speaks volumes of how they've really thought about it and listened to the customers.
One of the nice things on the Durango, and it's a small feature, but it's something that's going to be very convenient for the owners of the new Durango, is with the headrest in the third row seat where you have a button up front so the driver or front passenger can actually lower the headrests when no one is there so they get a better field of vision in the rear.
Yeah, I thought that was a really good idea. And if somebody's getting on a line in the back too, hit the button, you can whack them in that with it.
Yeah, that would work.
Keep them in line.
We were going to talk to you about that.
All right, two vehicles I was really impressed with. The Journey. I mean, I thought the interior of that vehicle was beautiful. I really thought it was. What was some of the high points you guys thought about the Journey as far as what they changed?
With the Journey, you know, when I got inside of it, they kept all the good features that I thought were good. With the booster seat that you can, you know,
That was really
built-in
cool.
booster seats, a cool feature. And then, you know, when the new interiors, the soft touch feel, the new, you know, seat covers and all that, you know, it was just the stuff that needed to be changed, they changed. And the stuff that needed not to be changed, they didn't touch.
Left alone.
Yeah, so.
Don, what'd you like?
The new screen in there too. The new screen in the Journey. That's the first two vehicles are gonna be the Charger and the Journey with the new touchscreen, the 8.5-inch touch, and that thing just is cooking. They think, you know, that a lot of people said Ford Sync system was the best out there. It just got left in the dust. It's not even close to what this system is, so.
Excellent.
It does everything through there.
There's a new article out this morning, actually, I was in my Yahoo, there's a new article actually talking about how this new infotainment system is unbelievable.
It is.
So,
They do everything through it. So.
Probably the biggest improvement, I think, in the Journey is adding the Pentastar engine.
Pentastar.
Yeah.
The Journey is a fairly heavy vehicle. it's also one of the safest vehicles, you know, throughout the market. And now with that new engine, you're not sacrificing any of the performance to get all the safety features that were engineered into the Journey. So it's the best of both worlds.
Okay. All right, last vehicle, guys, what do you think about the Caravan?
Great.
Grand Caravan.
Interior new, nicer second row seats,
The stone
taller.
that's awesome.
One stone, one touch stone.
Let's talk about the Stogo system for a minute.
Just the fact-
From the previous system to what they've done now. John, what do you
Before,
think?
you know, before you had to hit the side lever, brought the seat down, and pull the strap to release it from the floor, and then put it into the floor. Now it's you just hit that lever, it folds it down and folds it up, and almost if the door was open on the whole in the compartment, it would fold itself right into the floor.
Pretty much,
Very-
doesn't require much, you know, interaction with the actual seat.
Nope.
I mean, it's
And a more comfortable seat.
touch.
Taller back, headrest not in the middle of your back no more, don't have to
It's
pull
right
it
up
up.
there, nice and
It's,
long.
Thicker seat too. I
Nice
noticed.
thicker, a better second row than ours. It's like,
Okay.
it's what people's wanted for a while. So that was one of the main complaints, is that second row wasn't as comfortable as I thought it should be, and that the headrest was intrusive to your
too
back.
small, yeah.
And the new one is awesome, so.
And
I
the
like
cloth-
seats are great.
The cloth interior is almost like a microfiber now.
Yeah.
You know, instead of
Yeah.
having like that kind of cloth feel to it, it's got a real soft touch, and you know,
Yeah.
it's like
Okay.
when I
Very
sat in the
nice.
seat, it was probably the most comfortable seat I sat in all day. So.
And the
Awesome.
instrument cluster in there, another, the dash redo is a nice job.
Don't forget the center console too.
The
Yeah,
center
that-
console,
center
that's all the way
console
up,
is
first
cool.
year of that. There's a
More
lot of
customer
firsts.
friendly.
That was cool.
I like how they put the, basically stone go for those cross rails on the roof.
The hidden cross rails is
Really-
awesome.
What are the
On the
new-
Durango,
on the Durango?
they're on the Durango and they're on the minivans right now.
Just the
They
fact
hide
Don,
that
can you
right
explain
there.
that real quick?
They hide in the side rails, you just unscrew them and pop it up, put it across and twist them in, and when you're done, you put them back in, you can't even see them.
Very convenient.
They store themselves right in the sides, so the side rails, the running rails of the van.
Yeah, I think customers
Very,
would be
very,
really pleased with that.
very nice, so.
Awesome.
You don't have to leave them on if you don't want them on, or you can, it doesn't matter, but they'll fold right in and sit right in, and they just totally disappear.
Cool.
So you can't even see them.
Anybody have anything to add about the ride drive event? I mean, it was a huge success. It was great. It was my first time, and I can't wait to go back to the next one. I think Dodge
It's like
is
my
doing a
fourth
fantastic
time,
job.
and every time I go, I'm no
Yeah.
less than impressed, but this was very impressive, because they really did go and change that whole line, whether it's stuff you could or couldn't see. On the Avenger, you can't see what they changed really, except a little bit of fascia work, but once you're inside of it, you see it, and when you drive it, man, you feel it. You know that car has been changed, because it does hook up, and it's a driving machine now, it really is.
What do you guys think was the most impressive vehicle that you thought with the changes?
I thought for changes, the Avenger was by far the
Yeah.
best. When it comes to changes, the Durango, seeing that, you know, I was really impressed in how they designed that, and I think it's going to be a great vehicle when it hits the floor. So.
Awesome. Nick, what'd you think?
I'm gonna say the Journey. You know, I drove a competitive vehicle. I actually own one of the competitive vehicles that we got to drove against with the Journey, and I was more than surprised at how that Journey. It was an amazing vehicle.
Awesome. Pete, what'd you think?
Actually, it's one that we probably didn't talk that much about, the new Charger. That exterior is phenomenal.
I would agree.
It's almost like the Challenger in the sense that when you see it, you recognize, you're not wondering what vehicle it is.
You know what it
You
is,
can tell
but-
right away.
Sure.
The interior obviously is phenomenal, but the outside styling is, you know, probably one of the best things to come out of Chrysler. in a
I'll
while.
tell you what, I was blown away by that 8.5-inch touchscreen.
I'm
I
still-
was like, wow.
Such a tech guru, and I love it.
That thing was cool. I was a little disappointed going to the
Back to the hard drive.
back to the hard drive. It was such a smaller screen. I'm like, oh wow, you know. But it was really sweet to see that.
And again, with the Charger, you know, that in the standard, you know, your base model, you're still going to get, you know, your 4.5-inch touchscreen stereo. That's going to be standard on all
Yeah.
models at
3.6.
least, you know, so.
Got 3.6, 305 horse V6 in that new Charger
Mhm.
to start with, and an entry model, that's a quick car, fun to drive.
Yeah.
And if you get into the all-wheel drives, we're the only one with that front end disconnect on there.
Yep.
The axle disconnect is a nice car. Fun to drive, fun to look at, everything about it great.
Cool. It sounds like the ride drive event, guys, was a huge success.
Definitely.
Can't wait for the next one. Anybody else got anything to add?
That's it.
Good.
I
Awesome.
need to hurry up and get them in.
Sure. Wrap it up.
Notice how we